Dear brothers and sisters, today I want to say about one concept which is very central to our daily life, not only to our spiritual life, which is most important, but also to our family life, to our personal psychological life, to the social life, to even to these changes that we're coming to, the world is changing. This concept is alienation. Okay, alienation. There is all kinds of alienation. I hope today my discussion, my introduction will not be too philosophical. Okay, I will try to make it as straightforward as possible, because this is very straightforward. When we understand this, we can see it everywhere. This alienation. What is alienation? Okay, in the most basic understanding, it's distancing, getting away from, or turning away from, or becoming enemy with something that you were close. So this concept, you can find it everywhere. We can find it in the Bible. We see when the devil is falling from the heavens, it's alienation of these angels from God. When we see man being expelled from the paradise, this alienation from the Lord. When he does the sin, so we see first is sin that he does, he has in his heart, he does it, then being chased away. So okay, the alienation takes steps. Okay, well, and it's not always bad. Okay, it depends where you're, what you're alienating from. Okay, if it's alienation away from God, this is bad. If it's alienation from evil, from your selfishness, from okay, old self, carnal self, this is good. The Lord Himself uses this concept when He says, if you don't lose your soul, if you don't perish your soul, you will not gain it. And if you gain your soul, you will lose it. You will perish it. You will have it perish. So if you choose this life, you will lose real life with God. And if you choose real God, you will have to forfeit, you have to abandon all of this for the Lord and His gospel. So this alienation concept works in gospel itself. But the biggest problem that we have is alienating from the Lord. Okay, and we can see it in many different shapes and forms. Okay, we can see, well, first, where does this concept come from? Okay, in terms of philosophy, we find it in early philosophers, in the Renaissance philosophers. But the main idea, well, most of you have heard of it from Marx, right? He was talking about Marx. He was talking about workers who produce some product, and that this product is alienated from them. It's taken by those capitalists, and this is why it's not fair, and there is alienation, and then there will be the revolution, which will make distribute all the products evenly, and the workers, the proletariat, they will have it all. Okay, so this alienation will be you will overcome it at some point. Well, it's economic problem. We let us talk about where did Marx get this idea. Okay, and one of the sources was Moses Guess. It was a Jew who, Jew in terms of religion, not ethnically. I'm now talking about religion. Who developed this from earlier sources, okay, from Spinoza, from Hegel, from Talmud, okay. But the idea that he brought to the world of philosophy of that time is that money brings alienation among people. which is true. Think about it. If you have money, you can. This becomes your access to external world. You can buy this from that one. You can buy this from that. You can goods and services you can purchase. And when you can do this, you don't need to make friends with these people. Okay, you don't need any other relationship, more or less. Okay, for example, in your family, if everything becomes monetarized, for example, you ask your children to help you to help you wash dishes, say, and he tells you, well, this is okay, $10. Okay, $10. Everything becomes like that. Your relationship is gonna change. Okay, you're not gonna be. It's not gonna be the same anymore. That is alienation. That makes you alienated. There's this. It creates some kind of link, but this link destroys human relationships, like healthier human relationships. It does. There is no need in it. It's vanishing. So this is example, and this is true. This is Mammon is coming. I'm not saying that you don't need money, but we need to know that money has this property, and the more greedy you are, okay, the more money you want to possess, the worse is going to be your human relationship with other people, because it's going to be all about money. Okay, you don't have time for them because time is money, and you run away. Okay, and the more money you have, usually the more obsessed about money you are. So not always, but money there is the risk associated with it, that because you can become minister of Mammon, and Mammon creates this alienation, brings this acid to which melts down human relationship, poison. Okay, it's poisoning it, destroying. There is alienation of husband and wife, between husband and wife, because also very often it's because of money or some other reasons related to these earthly interest, or okay, something related to this earthly life. And then you're alienated and you turn away to something else. Okay, you don't want to spend time together. You're busy with something else. You don't want to sacrifice your time, your heart for this person. Again, there is alienation from culture that we can see in 20th century and until now. Chinese, they don't look like Chinese. I mean, they don't dress like Chinese. They don't take Europe, take Russia, take any country. And not only dress, it's about everything. It's about habits, about moral values, about lifestyle. The cultures, these traditional cultures of different nations, is just erased. Almost everything. It's something remaining, but it's rubble. Okay. Why does this happen? Also because of Mammon. Because you want to to possess things. You become profit oriented, and nothing matters. Okay, it all works. You can get profit from people of any nation. If you go to some country like immigrant country, Canada, United States, you'll see people don't care about what culture. If we make money, who cares about culture? Okay, maybe I'm exaggerating, but the tendency is like that. Okay. Okay. So this brings us to the conclusion, the observation that alienation is about distancing, about turning away, and about betraying your your country, betraying your moral values, betraying your spouse. Okay, it's about betraying something. usually, okay? I'm talking about bad alienation. And we can see how that works in the church, okay? Even at the time of Christ, those Jews of that time, they did not receive true God, the Messiah, because in their hearts they chose something else. They chose mammon, they chose this worldly comfort, and they didn't want salvation. So Jesus told them that your sons, your father is devil. You're ministering, you're serving devil. Even though outside, from the outside, they were like doing everything right. So that was alienation from God. Later we can see in the church there is alienation when there are those heresies splitting away because they choose something else. They choose to worship their own idol that they created, calling themselves Christians, but it's not Christianity. So they were cut away from the church, and eventually there was this big chunk cut away, become Catholic, because they chose to follow Pope, which would tell him what to do in this world to gain better life in this world. to crusades, to do this and that, okay? So they didn't want to listen to the Holy Spirit and be united and be loyal to the tradition of the Holy One Church. No, I don't care about tradition, councils. No, I'm council myself. I'm better than any council. So that's the whole alienation happening in the time of split of the Roman Church. Then we have this alienation, further alienation by the Protestants, who said we don't want even any authority above us. Just me and you and everybody himself will decide what is the truth about Christ and what is the meaning of the gospel. We don't care about church, any tradition, any saints, no saints, no need for asceticism, no need for fasting. We don't need all of that. Self-control, what are you talking about? We just want to call ourselves Christians and believe that we're saved already, no matter what. So they got alienated because of what? Because of Mammon, willing to have prosperity and just focus on economic development and business, and no need for prayer, monasticism. What are you talking about? So that was further alienation happening. And now we have alienation happening within the Orthodox Church. Not only now, but now we can see. So I'm being critical of ourselves. I'm not trying to... I tell you, of course, that Orthodox Church is the church because it still preserves. But we have some weaknesses, not everyone, but there are some problems within the church that we need to overcome. And one of them is the alienation from the spiritual life, from repentance. To choose what? To choose form. Oh, this should be like this icon like this movement like this everything like this. Oh, it's like this, I'm dressed like this, Orthodox. What is it all about? I don't care. No, I just need all this, and now I'm Orthodox. This is a big risk within the Orthodox Church that is happening sometimes. So we need to be aware of that, okay? Let's go forth. In the 20th century, we have all types of alienation. On the worldwide scale, global scale, we have those revolutions, which is even before. For example, in the West, we can have this revolution, industrial revolutions, and before that we have those revolutions, bourgeois, those getting rid of monarchs, alienating from this family life that we have a father who is a monarch, we respect him, we obey him. No, now we don't obey any authority. We just decide ourselves what's convenient, what's best, how to make money, and so on. So we don't need those monarchs. Okay, we decide ourselves. So that is one alienation, technological alienation. Capitalism. Okay, this beginning of modern capitalism is we don't need to be those nice, those noble, having some values, no, we don't need all of that. We just need make money, open business, open factory, do this, do that, sell, buy. Okay, that's okay, betraying the previous ideals and getting into this new lifestyle. And this is triggering industrial revolutions. First, second, third, now fourth. These industrial revolutions are coming in waves. And I'm not against progress, okay? But we need to remember, same as with money, okay? We're not against money, but we need to remember that a lot of that is motivated by mammon. We are motivated to invent a dishwasher because we don't want to wash dishes, okay? And and you can say, well, you can have more time to pray and to think about spirituality. No, people don't want this to do this in order to be with God. No, they just don't want to do things. They are lazy. They want to push a button, you have your stuff and eat it and finish. Even though it's garbage stuff, okay? Of course, it's better to have a healthy, organic thing falling out and you eat it and you go. So it's not because of searching for God and prayer. No, the motivation behind this is different. Okay? But we, for example, if we choose to live with God, of course we can use products of mammon. Okay, all these products, everything is done by modern technology, which is convenient, even though its motivation behind it is mammon. But okay, we have it. What should we do? Okay, we use it, no problem. We use it for a different purpose. We use it so that we can serve our Lord more, not to be attached and be possessed by all these things. Okay, willing more, better, nicer, no. Okay, next we have the sexual revolution in the 20th century, and this revolution is alienation from traditional values, from commandments of the Lord, from even basic human understanding. What is family? What is responsibility? No, people don't want it. Why? Mammon. Mammon tells you your flesh needs to be needs to enjoy, to have, possess whatever you want. You're alienated from other person. You just use his or her body because you like this stuff, okay? And that's it. Use it and throw it away. And so this brings people to go away from any responsibility, and they defile themselves and break up their soul, their life. Okay, so that's what sexual revolution is all about. And then we have later, even further, when we have this embracing all these sodomite values. Society basically, it's not everybody has to become a sodomite, but people have to agree that this is fine, and that there is no gender. You decide yourself what is gender, what your gender is all about. Okay, you change your gender. No, that's another alienation. Okay, even just by accepting it, society is being alienated from traditional values. So it's taught in schools and everywhere. So that's another type of alienation. This was happening, well, last couple of decades, big scale. Another big alienation. Okay, I won't talk too much about socialist countries. That's another way of alienating people from God and from from everything. Okay, that's another way, but that's also alienation. People become materialist and only care about the material well-being and stuff. Okay, so we have those alienations. So we are coming now to the alienation that's happening now. And what is it? What is the alienation in our time? And of course there is tons of other alienation. For example, alienation from the countryside. People don't want to live there. They want to choose big cities to make more, not to develop, to learn, no, to make more money and to buy more things. People want to now I'm coming to the big alienation that's happening now, and it's going to become bigger and bigger. This is alienation from reality and from yourself. Okay, alienation from reality is when we are running away from real life to games, to Facebook, always with our gadgets, what is happening there. We don't care about our family, we don't care about real life, no need for responsibility. Okay, this is where we're going. Then we'll have this metaverse and everybody is gonna jump in there. This cyberpunk or whatever you want to call it. Okay, alienation from all the freedoms people have, and they will submit to the this new system that's happening. And alienation from yourself. What do I mean by that? I mean that when you're completely possessed by some virtual, you have your avatar, you have this and that, you forget who you are, you become part of the it's like the bee flying with the flow, because it doesn't have yourself. No, you're just your brain is completely hacked, and you are in that state. You're possessed by all this flow of information, of you know what you're told. This is right, this is wrong, this is dangerous, this is, you avoid this, you have to do that. You receive, and this is where you go, and this is what you believe. Okay, all your fears, all your worries, whatever people now hear from the news, that's what everybody's talking about. That's where we are. Okay. People don't want to think. People don't want to to take responsibility, because if you agree with everything that you see, read in the news, no, you don't need to be responsible for your own opinion, which may be different. So your brain is switched off, your heart is switched off, you're like zombie. Okay, so and later you will have all kinds of things. Okay, I don't want to talk about this. This is transhumanism. You can read about it. Burning man. What is burning man? You burn man to create something else. Okay, you become like a program in the big system. Okay, you're just a function. Okay, you're not son or daughter of God. Okay, unique with your soul and with your path to the Lord. No. You become just a part of all these things. Okay, and people are willing to forfeit that and to enter, to dive in this new reality. So that is what is coming, and we already can see it. So let us beware of all these alienations. All of them is just some kind of expression of being alienated, separated, apostasy. This is what we're talking about: apostasy from the Lord. First, it happens in the heart, then it happens in life. On individual level, on the social level, first people begin think like that, do things like that, and then there is the big change of the social order that's happening. Like that. We had the revolution in Russia. Prior to that, we had maybe 50 years of that kind of life, and then life away from God. So why call yourself Christians if you're not? And then there is a revolution which we can see that yes, people are not Christians because they blow up churches, they don't live like Christians, and that's real reality. So the same thing is going to happen with all this big transformation. We are already losing many things, and that is going to be the big change. It's going to just prove that that's how things are. Okay. So I don't want to make this video too long. I hope I was clear enough to say what I wanted to say. We need to remember all this. In any nation, in any kind of setting, we can turn to God. We can overcome all these alienations, apostasies, if we search God and live not for ourselves but for Him. So things seem to be complicated. They're not complicated. As soon as we change, we can overcome all these destructive, self-destructive alienation processes. Okay, and the Lord will guide us. He will give us healing. He will recover us from all this misery and all this defilement. Any kind of alienation. Sin, any kind of sin is defiling, is making us not pure. Alienation from the pure heart of a child makes you complicated, makes you think how to trick people. Okay, this is another alienation. Any kind of sin is some kind of alienation. When you feel that you can steal something, okay, that's when you are alienated from a righteous life, from righteous way of treating things. Now you're stealing. Or okay, when we have gluttony, that's also any kind of passion sin is trying to alienate us from the righteous way of life. We just need to choose to go back, to turn back to the Lord and live with Him. May the Lord help us, give us His blessing, preserve us in His grace, so that we can gain life from Him and serve Him every day of our life, no matter what. God bless everyone.